you see Gen AI doing parts of what you do anytime soon in terms of auditing, validating evidence, writing reports?
You can save time to document new policies and procedures. You can save time to review evidences manually by yourself. Talking about the future, I think we'll someday figure out a way if AI writes the report by itself, meeting the quality standards.
Hi everyone, I am KK Mookhey. I am the CEO of Network Intelligence. I founded the company in 2001, so I've been running it for over 2 decades. And in these 2 decades, if there is one key lesson I've learned, is that a company is nothing but a group of people that come together and try to accomplish something special. And so a company is only as good as its people. And that's where we are focusing on this series, where we are highlighting some of the key employees in our team who've done excellently well. And I'm very pleased to have Rajat on the call today. So, Rajat, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much. I hope you're doing good as well.
Yes, Rajat, thank you. And I'm just wondering, I know you're so busy, and you have been so busy for the past few years. So I'm wondering how many audit reports and clients I am annoying by keeping you away from finishing your work and sending out those reports. So I appreciate your time. Let's start with going back to maybe your childhood. How did you, starting from a bit about your schooling, your growing up years, did you
Mhm.
develop an interest in technology or in consulting or in auditing? And then how did you end up in cybersecurity and come on board with us?
Right. So, KK, I was born in Delhi. I was brought up in Jaipur. My entire schooling was done from Jaipur. And back then, my father had a business in Jaipur, and due to some reason, personal reasons, the entire family had to shift to Delhi. There, I did my graduation. I pursued my graduation in Bachelor's of Computer Applications. Then, post that, I completed my graduation in 2016. Right after my graduation, I pursued my master's degree in computer applications. This I did because at that particular time I used to see people running, like being a software engineer and doing codings and stuff. But while I was pursuing my MCA, I discovered cybersecurity as one of the field, and that truly excited me. And following my MCA, I was accepted into National Law University Bhopal, and then I obtained another master degree from there. It was particularly in masters in cyber law and information security, which helped me getting a deeper understanding into cybersecurity and knowing the techno-legal aspects of cybersecurity. From there, I got placed into NLU through a campus drive that happened, and I was fortunate enough to get a chance to get into the company. And since then, I have been part of network intelligence.
Awesome. I want to just take you back to one of the things you said, which is you discovered this field of cybersecurity.
Yeah.
So, personally, I have a very distinct memory of when that happened for me, although it's 23 years back. Was that also a very interesting way in which you discovered this field and then you explored it and convinced yourself that this is what you wanted to do? If you can just talk to us about what that was like.
Right. I guess there are two stories to it. One is while I was doing MCA, there was the subject of cryptography. I was very much keen to understand where is this used, and it is since then I was only aware of it as all coding and everything. Where is the cryptography used? What is behind this? And then one day I was sitting with one of my friends, and he was suggesting like there is this cybersecurity course that my sister is doing, and while I went into searching what this course is about, and then it intrigued me. I want to do this particular course and get into this particular field. So that is how it happened.
That is very cool, actually, because I remember for me as well, I was fascinated by cryptography and I studied a few books about the history of cryptography. I think see the secret code or something like that. I remember, which traced back to, Caesar cipher, and then
Yeah,
all those sorts of things, and then the Enigma machine, and it was very fascinating. In fact,
yeah,
the first idea I had initially was to build a company that developed algorithms. Because I was fascinated by the RSA algorithm. I was like, this is so cool, Diffie-Hellman. And then Diffie-Hellman not taking credit or not, copywriting his key exchange algorithm and keeping it public, and RSA copyrighted and trademarked it, patented it, and built it into a multi-billion-dollar company. So just two different paths of two different sets of scientists trying to solve the same problem.
right,
So yeah, it's pretty cool. Cryptography is still a fascinating subject. I still enjoy reading up on it, and seeing what's breaking and what's not. And as you know now, quantum cryptography is also coming into play. I'm curious about the selection process when we picked you up and hired you for network intelligence. That I assume was as an intern. We picked you up as an intern, or was that a full-time employment offer we gave you?
okay. So offer was a full-time employee offer,
Okay.
and our practice lead, one of our practice lead, he's not part of the organization at this moment, but he came and there was several rounds as in group discussions and personal interview. A lot of rounds happened, and from there, yeah, I was picked up.
It was tough. You mean we ran a fairly challenging interview process?
Not that challenging, but yes, whatever I wrote on CV, and they were just asking questions that were part of my CV only. And I like one of uh, one of the questions that I remember was around risk assessment, and a day before we had an exam for risk assessment, so I was very well aware of the concept. So, yeah, that is how it happened.
You'll be amazed at how many people I have interviewed who unfortunately could not give a clear description of what is risk. And not I didn't even then go into asking them about risk mitigation strategies and things like that. But
Yeah.
do you remember any other tough questions you were asked, or any interesting questions you were asked?
Okay, so it was around like that particular job role was around PCI DSS. The primary role was to get in, like to execute PCI DSS projects. So, and while we were off, like we received the job description from the organization, and it mentioned like it is for PCI DSS, that will be the key role. So I also mentioned PCI DSS in my CV,
Resume.
resume, and just had a basic understanding of what PCI DSS is. And then I was asked some questions around that. But overnight, I mugged up everything as in each requirement, and I think I was pretty much able to answer those questions. But wherever I was stuck, I just said I will have to read about it, and that is how it went.
That's pretty cool. Tell me something. Did we put you through some sort of a training program when you joined, or did we just throw you into the deep end and say, go do these projects?
No, there was a training program. So as soon as we joined, we underwent like 2 or 3 days training. As I mentioned, the key role was PCI DSS. So basic understanding was given, a chance was given to ask questions. The main thing, the good thing was our lead. He set us all down, who all were selected from our college, and he created a situation as in assume this is a real audit and ask questions, and how will you conduct. So that really helped. And post that, we were given shadow projects. We shadowed a few projects, and soon after that, we were assigned the project individually. Yeah, so
Hmm.
that is how it. Yeah.
So now, speaking about the work that you actually do with us, Rajat, you are one of our leading PCI QSAs, which means that you are essentially auditing for the most part. In audit, it may seem like it's an easy thing to do. You just have a framework or a standard like PCI. You ask the customer or the client a bunch of questions, they provide you evidence, you validate, and you write up a report. But it's not, right? It is so stressful. And I know that most of you QSAs are always under the tap in terms of how much pressure you deal with. So tell me, situations where you were under a lot of pressure, and you how did you handle that situation? Maybe if the client had to get the report on time, but their evidences were questionable or not, satisfactory to you. How
Right.
did you work with around those situations and solve those?
So yeah, there are many such situations, as in there are all kind of clients. Some are very supportive, some are very demanding. I don't know if that is the right word to say, but yes, they expect a lot of things while we consult them, while we ask for certain evidence, the timelines also. One of the situations I remember, like a year back or 2 years back, where there was a client. Uh, uh, from Doha, I guess in particular, I don't remember as such, but it was a major client, and a lot of demands and a lot of stringent timelines. And the major challenge was to collect evidences again, as you mentioned. It is very much hard to explain to a particular customer, like, we need these evidences to showcase to the council or any governing body that yes, we did this particular audit. And that was a challenge, but we had to think about some creative ways to get out of those situations and meet the particular control where the client was not agreeing to share the exact evidence we were looking for. So that happens, and there are situations where report delivery is again and again a task where we have the stringent timelines. Such situation comes up, as in one of the situations. Again, I remember we were auditing a bank, and the bank had a timeline to deliver the audit report by May 30th,
Hmm.
November 30th. And on 15th November, we were like, we had only 50% evidences. And the issue was, if that particular report was not delivered on 30th, on 1st of December, they may have faced like hefty fines and all. So again, we had to travel on site, collect those evidences, pending evidences in the last minute, and come up with the report. I remember I wrote those report. I wrote that particular report while I was awake 3 days straight. I just slept for 2 3 hours in a day and all. So that is some situations we face. But yes, again, you'll have to be committed for such situations, and it will definitely pay you well.
Yeah, actually, this is something that a lot of people in our own company might not know about, is the kind of pressure that you QSAs work under with multiple audits going on. And, somebody is at some stage of reporting and somebody is at another stage of the audit. And
Right.
then the timelines have to be mapped and so on and so forth. So that's pretty, and you're not like 10, 15 years into auditing, right? So it takes a fairly level-headed person, and you must have matured pretty fast in these years. So tell me something that, this is this nature of work is very prone to burnout. Like I used to burn out when I was doing audits. There were days when I was so frustrated with these clients, like I would not want to go to the meeting to present findings, right? I just would be like, I don't want to be doing this. There are a dozen other things I could be doing with my time than
Right.
arguing with them over, and the arguments get down to the specific sentences and phrases that we use in reporting that finding, right? And I was like, man, this is so annoying. So yeah, I'm sure you've gone through these stages where you felt frustrated, probably burnt out. So what kind of brings you back? What keeps you motivated to keep doing this day in, day out?
Yeah, I'll I'll just explain, like, how, like, one of the examples I'll give that happened with me, and then I'll tell you what kept me motivated in
Hmm.
that particular situation to continue. Right after the COVID, the team, there was a huge challenge in the team to, like, handle customers, less number of people in the team, and we were figuring out a way how to come out of that situation. At that time, I was just 2 years in the company, and there were 20 odd projects, live projects, that I was handling, and
Hmm.
the pressure was very high. One fine day, I wrote to one of the seniors that I just need 1 month's leave. I'm not able to handle this pressure. So what I said was, like, the situation, I understand, like, the situation was not that I just go on leave and there will be customers who will be escalating the issues. But I remember having a discussion with you as well as one of the seniors. They gave me token of appreciation, like, just take a break, 3 4 5 days break, and
I remember this, yes.
go on a vacation. And So that kept me motivated.
Could sense at that time you really just needed to switch off. I
Yes.
clearly remember that point, and I said, Rajat, just take off, man. It's okay.
Yeah. And after coming from that break, I just, yeah,
Where
I
did you go?
was motivated.
Did you just stay home? Did you travel somewhere? I don't remember. Did you take off for
Uh,
a vacation somewhere? Or?
yeah, I traveled solo to Kashmir.
Lovely. I wish I could do that to recharge my batteries.
So that was a pretty good trip, as in, yeah.
I think you made good
I
use of that break.
Yes, I definitely did.
And so now when you've been at it for 5, 6 years, right, doing audits, and you must have done hundreds of more than 100, right? I think at one time you're pretty much doing 15, 20 projects. So
Right.
in the year, you're probably delivering hundreds of projects or reports or somewhere close to that number. So what keeps you motivated in this field of cybersecurity and PCI and HIPAA and high trust and all the compliance? Like you're in that same kind of domain, but obviously you find motivation in what you're doing. So what keeps you motivated?
Right. So one of the thing is curiosity, and the other thing, the main thing is you every day you meet new people. You get to know different technologies. You get to know how those technologies are implemented in their environment. So no organization, like no two organization will have same implementation, and that is fascinating. And the new challenges and overcoming those challenges, that surely keeps me motivated. And then there are, I guess, new things are coming in as an AI and certain stuff, which is also again fascinating. So getting to learn those technologies, work on those technologies, or from compliance perspective, I'm also seeking a chance so that I can get to audit the artificial intelligence technology and for certain compliance. So yeah, that is what keeps me that is what
Tell
is
me,
keeping me.
yeah, tell me. I'm curious about this AI piece. Like, what exactly? First of all, tell me what is your view? Do you see this as a kind of disruptive force specifically for your work? Do you see Gen AI doing parts of what you do anytime soon in terms of auditing, validating evidence, writing reports? And then also the other side, which is that I know you guys have built out a responsible AI practice. So if you can speak a little bit about what you can offer, here is where we can use this to market NI
Right.
services, right? So the first part is how do you see Gen AI impacting your work? And second is then what have you guys been doing on building out that responsible AI practice?
Right. I guess the AI part, as in the GPT that we have created, that the organization right now have, it is helping a lot to an extent.
Hmm.
Because when I say to an extent, because it will just reduce some of your work, as in you can review the policies and procedures. You can save time to document new policies and procedures. You can save time to review evidences manually by yourself. We are figuring out a way, or I guess we have figured out a way where we upload the evidences, a few evidences, if we are in agreement with the customer to do so, and right away we review these evidences and come up with the comments if it is meeting the requirement. We also figure out a way how to implement compensatory control given the situation to AI. So that is surely helping a lot. Automating things surely helps, and that particular time we are able to devote that time to other customer or helping the same customer implementing things in a better way and delivering quality reports. uh, Talking about the future, I think we'll someday figure out a way if AI writes the report by itself, meeting the quality standards. But yeah, that is what we are doing. And apart
So
from this, I would
yeah.
also like to mention we are also working on creating toolkits for the new compliances that is coming specifically for AI.
So, in terms of how are you looking at helping organizations that are building AI driven technology within the organization? So what can your team offer them?
Okay, so what we can offer them at the moment is meeting the specific AI requirements or compliances that have came into picture right now. There is NIST risk management framework specifically for AI that is new. Then there is ISO 42001 standard which is new. We can help those customers implement policies and procedures, help them do a risk assessment around AI, help them understand what needs to be in place in terms of documentation and achieve those certifications, and maintain the security posture of their AI technology. So from compliance
Yeah.
perspective, that is what we can offer at this moment.
Right, right. And I think if we work with the pen testing team to also combine LLM testing and
Yeah.
AI model testing and things like that, it then gives a pretty comprehensive package to the client.
Right, and that is also part of certain controls. So these activities anyhow should be done, and will have to be done, since these are one of the controls of the newer standards that has been introduced. And to mitigate certain risk and all, we'll have to again identify the vulnerabilities and remediate them.
Right. Just, if you kind of were to look back at yourself 7, 8 years back, starting off and trying to figure out your way in the world, what kind of advice do you think you would give to your 20-year self?
Okay, so if I were to give advice to people who are just starting, or if I was to advise myself, if I was 7, 8 years back, I would say you'll have to stay curious like a cat that has 9 lives, and
Hmm.
each life is helping you learn something new, like, and get to understand like why and how of everything while you are undergoing, let's say if you are undergoing a training or doing audits, why and how of everything will surely help you, and that curiosity will be your best friend in the coming future. Apart from that, I would also say you must embrace your mentors. You must learn from their experiences, get to have some discussion with them, and get because they might come up with some their own stories that they may have faced, on situations that they may have done some blunders, and they may have also corrected it. Who knows, like, you will be in a similar situation one day, so you'll have a basic idea how my mentor did it. So never hesitate to reach out to your seniors for advice and to ask questions.
And I think that is a great insight, Rajat, because it speaks to the kind of culture that I believe we've created and tried to create, where you're stuck. You don't kind of try and deal with it yourself. You feel free to talk to your peers or to your seniors and take help where it's appropriate to get you out of wherever you're stuck. If you could speak a little bit towards what you find as working in terms of our culture, and what you feel could be different also, what you and feel free, right? It's okay, you
Yeah.
can just tell what sucks working at NI and what does not.
So at this moment, I guess I'm liking everything, and that is the reason I've been with NI for these many years. And one thing that I truly appreciate is there is a very collaborative and supportive culture in the team. In my team that I know, and I am very much aware of other teams as well when we get to speak to other colleagues. So I see, and in the office also, you can reach out to anyone about any challenge that you face. Let's say if it is if you want to understand something in the pen test report, that is then you can reach out to that particular team member, any team member, and get to understand those details. The other thing is each of the senior, like, I'm fortunate enough to work with such seniors, and as in where you get encouraged for getting new certifications done, attend the conferences, gain some knowledge on the newer technologies or new compliances that you have. They'll always motivate you to do a different kind of project. They'll scold you if you're doing one similar work the every other day. So that is good. As in, if you take it positively, they're at the end they're helping you grow, and that is the one thing that I truly love about being in NI and the culture that we have made here.
Okay, there was a second part to that question. Am I putting you on the spot?
So I guess, yeah, the second part of that question, as in the thing I think about, like, that can be introduced is the managers can personally meet the employees and at a certain point, and like fix every month, let's say, and discuss about what are their personal issues, because there are certain challenges that the colleagues face personally, and that impacts your work. So having a word with those colleagues, understanding their challenges regularly on a regular basis will surely help and motivate, keep that particular employee motivated to carry on the work that they do.
Yeah, thank you for that feedback. Actually, it took me many years to realize this because my initial, when I was running the business and hiring people, it was like given a task, somebody should do it. What's this with I have this family issue or I have this personal issue, leave that at the door. It took me many years to realize that no, that is not how it works. That's not how human beings operate, right? You cannot leave your part of your life at the office door and then walk in and deliver
Right.
20 projects and then go back and then pick up the threads. You are one holistic person, and issues on the personal front, whether it's health or mental health or physical health or family, it is going to impact how you work in the office and deal with people. And we have a process of one-on-ones. I have to see, maybe that's,
Right.
and some of these processes honestly have broken down in the work from home environment. So one of my endeavors right now is to see how we bring back some of those critical organizational frameworks and processes that we had, which kind of dissipated in remote working. So I appreciate your feedback. I have one question, last question, Rajat, before I let you go. What do you see in your future? What are your dreams, aspirations? What's next for you?
So I guess, well, if you ask me, the future looks bright, and not just because I've been staring at the computer screen all day. So just like talking about the new frontiers, like as I mentioned, I'm eager to dive more into AI and understand what compliance efforts can be required and how can we help our customers to attain those compliance certifications. Apart from this, in the near future, as in within this year also, I'm planning to do certain certifications, including CISA or cloud certifications or some certifications related to AI that can help my career grow. So that is what I'm looking at.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rajat. I really don't want to keep you away from your, dozens of ongoing projects and hundreds of emails that must have cropped up in your mailbox by now. I really appreciate your candor and, sharing insights from your own experience. So, thank you so much for today.
Thank you, thank you. It was great having a discussion with you on, like, it should regularly happen. And
Yes, I agree. My pleasure talking to you. Really, we haven't sat down and had a chat ever of this nature. So,
yes, correct. It
thanks
was
to
you.
this
Yeah.
this podcast series, at least I'm getting to talk to all of you at this in this manner.